What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. It's Monday. We are down here, honey. A lot of cars down here today. We're talking about marriage boot camp, and then we're going to talk about P-Valley. I got to do marriage boot camp first. Y'all didn't tell me that I forgot Real Housewives of New York. I forgot it, and I'm back. I'm down 2 episodes. God damn it. Oh my God. I do not like parking next to cars. I just do not. I like to be on the end so no one will park next to me. So I'm just here. So let's talk about marriage boot camp. Look at all the geese in the field. Let's talk about marriage boot camp. Oh God. So I got notes. Oh, listen. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Not too much happened over the weekend from my perspective. I just saw, you know, a lot of response to the WAP video, and the response from men and from women, from the conscious community, from the anti, sex worker community. I saw from the pick me community. We saw so much. If you were on my Instagram stories, I did share a little bit of what people were talking about. It's so weird. I don't know. I'm just all for letting people do what the fuck they want to do. That's all. That's all. That's all. I don't know. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't care. Like I just it's a little gnat in here. I don't care. Whatever. I do like the fact that the response that they're getting is similar to the response that 2 Live Crew got with their sexually charged lyrics. Hello, I do love that. I love that the politicians are talking about it. I love it. I love it. I love it. To me, I feel like, people have this idea of how a black woman or how women altogether should present themselves. And a lot of the time it's through the constraints and confines of patriarchy. And when a woman centers herself around her sexuality and is not centered around a man, men and women don't know how to act. They really don't know how to act when a woman's sexuality isn't centered around what a man wants. And they just really don't get it. They don't get it. And like to Rodney's point, y'all break your necks. The first thing y'all do when you're going to war with another woman is talk about your pussy. Your pussy is this, your pussy is that, your pussy is this, your pussy is that. And then the second thing you go to is their ability to keep a man with that pussy. And now there's a song about it, and now you don't like it? Now it's like, oh my God, what man would want a woman dancing to this? So weird. Anyways, let's talk about marriage. Let's talk about marriage boot camp and the weirdness on that show. All right, so see, I should park right there because I don't want to be next to that car. I'm glad they left. I'm gonna move right here. I just don't like to be real close to cars. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Are y'all like that? I'm like that. I don't want to be right next to no car. I just don't want to. I just don't want to, okay? So let's talk about marriage boot camp. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment to let the people know you stopped by. And just leave a little comment. What did you think of the episode overall? I thought it was okay. I thought they missed an opportunity. I thought they really missed a really, really, really good opportunity to talk about violence in relationships, not only coming from one person, but coming from both people in the partnership. I could see if there's a difference in hitting someone and then believing that because they are a man, they can't hit you back. I don't see the correlation in that. I believe if you are the aggressor, that's to me is a different circumstance in which you can't govern somebody's response to that aggression. Tahiri was aggressive towards him. Now, should he have put his hands on her? No. Should she have thrown apples at him? No. They missed an opportunity to hold Tahiri accountable for her actions that led to her assault. Am I victim blaming? No. But there are couples who are equally toxic contributing to a relationship. And they're in the relationship, and both of them should not be in a relationship. And like, you know, a few of you in the comments, because I said Vado is unsuitable for partnership, and a few of you said Tahiri is unsuitable for partnership, and I fucking agree. I agree. When somebody said, I was like, yeah, you know, she is unsuitable for partnership. She needs to be by herself. But she lives in a society where she feels like she needs somebody. She's been socialized. A lot of women are socialized to believe it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter how much money it has. As long as it has a thing dangling between its legs, I have a man, and now I'm worthy. Now I'm valuable. Now I'm seen as valuable. You know. And it puts women in a lot of relationships with people they should not be in relationships with. But Tahiri, she lacks self-control as well. Did the alcohol contribute to it? Probably so. Was it for her? She said it was out of his character. That's not something he would do. They didn't allow them to speak. I thought it was just a missed opportunity all the way around to talk about relationships that have equally two people in the relationship who put their hands on one another. Tahiri should not have thrown anything at him. Don't throw nothing at me. And she hit him in the side of the face, like his arm was like this, and it like hit like right in here. And she did like bam, bam, like fired off two shots of apples at this man. And then we all were able to recognize last week that he was the anger was bubbling within him. And then for her to sit there and act like she didn't contribute to what just happened to her. And everybody's saying, and no matter what, you're not supposed to put your hands on a woman. So when is it okay for a woman to put her hand on a man? And then, see, this is what I think is happening with Tahiri. Tahiri is a self-proclaimed thrower, meaning that in anger, she throws things. And it's looked at as if that's just who I am. So a nigga says, well, when a bitch hits me, I hit her back. Or that's just who I am. That's not okay. Neither is okay. And I believe that Tahiri has come across men who practice self-restraint when she throws things at them. And then, not to mention, again, the ego is bruised. You did this to me on national TV. Not only have you verbally assaulted me with insults, now you're throwing things at me. So the level of respect is getting lower and lower and lower. So now my response is to me, I feel like I'm dealing with somebody I'm at war with. So now I'm going to jump on you. I'm jumping on you. Is it wrong? Yes. Should he have more self-control? Yes. But she should have exhibited the same self-control. And for that, her lack of self-control puts her in the category, girl, you are unsuitable for partnership. If you cannot keep your hands to yourself, you don't need to be in a relationship with somebody, because not all boys are taught not to hit girls. And those boys grow up to be men. And when a girl hits them, they don't have any teachings to say. Only society tells them, and society tells us we have gotten to the place, keep your hands, everybody in the relationship need to keep their hands to their self. If you have a problem and you lack self-control, you don't need to be in a relationship with somebody. You need to work on whatever it is that causes you to throw things at people when you get angry with them. Let's work on that. Now, Dr. Ish told her, we need to work on you and we need to work on Vado. He's not being kicked out of the program. I think that it would be best that he is there. They're doing a lot of performative work because they don't want to hear the backlash from domestic violence survivors who are saying to allow this man who jumped on her to be in the same room with her. No, they're people. They got into a fight. If you really want to break it down, they really got into a fight. Yes, he had enough time to think about his situation, but now you're sitting there next to me talking as if, oh, now I look crazy because I threw something out at him and he made me come out of character. You characterized yourself as a thrower. So what was out of character about what you did, Tahiri? Tahiri was not held accountable for her actions on this show, and they really missed an opportunity to do that. They just did. He's enticing me to become that person I don't want to be. So you're saying that he provoked you by squeezing this thing to shock you because you thought you knew better than him what was on that paper. He saw the paper. You didn't see the paper. So you thought he was just effing with you. Now, I have to go back and watch it. Was there times where he was pressing? Because part of the little thing was that her not listening. But some men will take that into, let me start giving her orders, and if she doesn't listen to my orders to come here, let me talk to you. You're not listening, let me buzz you. So she's thinking, oh, you just buzzing me for no reason. And that's why he said, you're going to look stupid when you see what's on this paper. You're going to feel stupid. Now you've assaulted him. Because they didn't say that Tahiri threw, when they talked to Judge Toller, they left out the part that Tahiri threw something at him. Dr. Ish said, I don't care if she throws hands or fists, don't put your hands on a woman. Everybody doesn't live by that creed. They don't. And Tahiri came in contact with somebody who doesn't live. Maybe that consequence, although we don't like the consequence, right? He shouldn't have put his hand, but that consequence will probably learn her next time. Let me not throw anything at this motherfucker because he might be like Vado. Maybe she learned a lesson. Maybe there is a lesson to be learned here. Don't throw stuff at people after you verbally insulted him. He's young, he's immature, he's broke. You ain't like the rest of my exes. And he's talking about you act crazy over your exes. You don't act crazy over me. You thought you were going to be in a safe place because this man was your friend first. Those be the ones who are the worst. The ones that you believe are your friends first. Those are the worst because their actions towards you don't understand it because you're like, dang, I thought we were friends. And unfortunately, people get into relationships with people and they're not friends first. And, I think it's best to be friends first, but sometimes those people don't know how to handle that and they do you wrong. And that's just what it is. Vado attacks Tahiri. She said he lost it. It's not like him. But he was like, she disrespected me on TV. I told y'all, we said it. You on national TV. And a man's identity is in his ability to perform masculinity. And a woman's words can really chop a nigga down at his knees and chop him all the way down. So now you chopping this nigga at his knees with your insults to his ability to make you broke. That's a man's commodity is his money. How much money he has. Niggas can be ugly as fuck. As long as they got money, somebody is going to fool with them. Right? So when you say he don't have no money, he up there looking like Martin Lawrence. You don't have no money, and now you throwing shit at me? It's a progression. It was a progression. And unfortunately, when she started acting like he made her do something to look crazy, that's when he was like, oh, fuck that, and just lost his cool. She didn't apologize. She didn't apologize for throwing the apples. That's what he said. You sitting next to me, you done threw some shit at me, and you gonna sit there and try to figure out how to make me the bad person for shocking you, but you can't even sit here and say, you know what, I was out of order for throwing them things at you. I should have never threw those things. That was out of order. And it would have stopped right there, and maybe she would have been held accountable. But his actions overshadowed. I don't know if it overshadowed it or what, but I don't know. She should have apologized for throwing those apples. You didn't deserve that. I don't care if you threw apples at him. No, Dr. Ish. No, you should have told her, Tahiri, you cannot be throwing, while he was wrong for putting his hands on you, you should not have thrown. But see, nobody wants to be, oh, you victim blaming, this and that. He's a victim of assault too. Like, that was the opportunity to talk about people in relationships being equally toxic. Right? Being equally toxic. That was a perfect opportunity to say, you know what? Hey guys, this program is for couples. You two need to be in a therapy for single people. You two should not be together. That I would advise you guys not to be together, because now you guys are insulting each other. You're throwing things at each other. You're putting your hands on each other. And to Dr. Ish's point, when a man violates that, your agency, it's easier the next time to put his hands on you. It makes it easier. Now I've already crossed that threshold, and now I can do it again, right? And where there is no consequence, the behavior will continue, and that's just what it is. I agree with that, but and Tahiri, he was like, you want to sit next to Hazel? And what I thought was really sad for me, and I think that Kurupt noticed it, Phaedra noticed it, they both mentioned they were she threw something at him. Like, and that's why in Phaedra's interview, she's like, I don't care, male to female, female to male, keep your hands to yourself. Period. Just keep your hands to yourself. And that's what it is. Tahiri was sitting there crying, and she looked so aged in her face. She looked tired. She looked old, and she looked tired. She looked stressed out, right? Understandably. But she was sitting there trying to, yeah, I do want to talk to him. Yeah, you need to apologize for throwing something at him. And it's crazy. It's because it's like after you do something to somebody and they react and it's worse than, now the attention is on the person who was worse than you. Anyways, she says she's been in abusive relationships before. She's had a broken nose, broken ribs. And like Dr. Ish said, some people believe that's part of a relationship. Throwing things at people, I'm a thrower. So that means you do that. That's what you do? That's your go-to? Oh. They both were wrong. Toni was like, I don't care what he did. What she did. No, you do have to care what she did. People don't react out of no reason. Now, if he reacted from no reason and he just got mad at her and it was irrational what he got mad at, and then he choked her, then I can understand. Would be like, girl, why would you hit him? Why would you hit her? Why would you put your hands on her? Why did you do that? If it was unprovoked, or like he just started going off and hitting her, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like there was, even though he did have a lot of time to think about it, that's when he should have said, y'all not gonna say nothing to her for throwing these fucking apples at me. He internalized, and because he doesn't know how to communicate, he couldn't communicate that outward. And the only way a lot of men know how to communicate is through acts of violence and aggression. And unfortunately, that's what Tahiri came in contact with. And Tahiri was crying. I felt bad for her. This is what I was going to say. I felt bad for her because nobody was, until Shonda hugged her, nobody really expressed any intent to comfort her. Like, it was nobody. And I've had that situation happen where it's like, you see someone in pain and no one goes to comfort her. I thought it's so weird to me. And it was kind of triggering for me, because I'm like, if you see somebody crying, to me, I feel like the first thing to do is console them. And everybody's just looking like, What is wrong with y'all? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with humans. But finally, Shonda comforts her and she says, I'm all I got. And you need to be in a relationship with yourself, Tahiri. Let's start there. Stop believing that your worthiness and you being deemed as a valuable woman is dependent on somebody choosing you. Phaedra said, either way, it's unacceptable. Hazel, she's sitting there with more. All of a sudden, you got morning sickness. You just found out you was pregnant yesterday, and today you feeling sick, and, oh, it's just morning sickness, babe. Girl, shut the fuck up. I was like, yesterday, you didn't even know you was pregnant. And today, after you done came from the doctor, now all of a sudden, you sick in the morning. It's morning sickness. Girl, shut up. Vado said, I just lost it. And Tahiri was like, I'm just disappointed. Judge Toller said he had to go. Has to be consequences for putting your hands on a woman. Violence in a relationship is not acceptable. Both of them should have been asked to leave. I don't know how Dr. Ish is going to work on Vado by himself. I don't know. This seems to have been an isolated incident because Tahiri said he's never beat her. So I don't know if that means he's never put his hands on her, because a beating is different than somebody just pushing you or slapping you. I was pushed and it was so strategic because I was pregnant at the time and I was pushed so I can fall on a bed. That's how strategic people are. People are a trip. But she just said he has never beat me. She wasn't, beating is different than somebody just doing little things to test how far they can go with you. Vado and Ish get in the meeting, and he was like, you have to be a master of your emotions. The same conversation he had with Vado, he should have had with Tahiri. You're not a master of your emotions. If you don't master your emotions, you're going to be out of control, and you're going to act in uncontrollable behavior. And he's like, so she had it coming? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, no. He was like, yeah, did you just say that? And he was like, yeah. But he probably feels like, yeah, that bitch had it coming. But he don't want to say that on TV. But he probably really feels like that bitch had it coming. Bitch, you been talking about me crazy on TV, insulting me. Now you throwing shit at me. The next thing you gonna put your hands on me. Because it is a progression of abuse. And men get abused in relationships. He has to go to the hotel. He was not allowed to speak to her. They were not allowed to speak. I thought that was a missed opportunity. He didn't. And then Tahiri said something about men have to lead by action. Girl, you sound stupid as hell. She really needs to work on herself. I haven't seen. She needs to just work on herself. Another one, Toni, she needs to work on herself. Shonda, she needs to work on herself. Those women need to work on themselves outside of being in a relationship. Work on that first, and then maybe you'll be more productive in a relationship. But Shonda's self-esteem issues are in the trash. Her husband contributed to that. He aids in in her self-esteem being low. He does. Hazel and Devon talking about we got to get married now. That shit. Anyways, Kurupt is back to drinking. So they did this exercise about what they hate about themselves. Willie said, amongst other things, I only wrote down a few things because they were like cutting back and forth. Willie said his anger. I didn't hear him say anything. Did he say how he treats his wife? When he was fighting outside, he was saying how he treats his wife. Toni says she doesn't like that people are able to get her out of anger. Phaedra says she's a perfectionist. Tahiri doesn't like that her nose. And it's sad. And it's sad because it's a physical part of her that was changed due to an act of violence. And now she looks at herself and she's reminded that she's not good enough for love. I haven't been loved the right way. Because you don't love yourself, Tahiri. I'm telling you, it takes a while. Tahiri, how old is Tahiri? She's a little younger than me, probably. It takes a while. You have to love yourself, and you have to just do the work to love yourself outside of the perspective of another person. And it's like so much better. You won't put up with a lot of things. I don't know. You will. I mean, it takes a while. And sometimes in relationships, we love another person more, or we love the idea of another person more, and we neglect the love for ourselves. And it's sad. And it happens so much. And it happens with women so much. Because we just, you know, like she just wants to be loved. She wants to be loved. But you're just not going to attract someone who loves you if you don't love yourself. And I think that's just really the foundation of it. I don't think there's any other, you know, new age way to put it. It's really about self-love. It really is. It really is. Kurupt doesn't love himself. He drinks like that. He drinks like that. Toni, it's about self-love, because if you did love yourself, then the things that you would accept, you would be a reflection of the love that you of how you love yourself. Is that a new age way to say it? Okay. Kurupt said his ignorance, not giving a F, and he says he really does give a F. He really does. He says people want to be around Kurupt. They don't want to be around Ricardo. And he plays into that persona, and, you know, he has other issues, you know, and that he kind of mentioned it. Nobody ever asked, like, why are you drinking? Like, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? Toni just wants him to stop. But can we find out why he's drinking in the first place? Kurupt be saying some stuff. Every now and again, he says some stuff that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, he has a lot of things. He's dealing with his persona, keeping up that persona to keep people around him. He lost his mother. You know, and amongst other things, being in the spotlight, having access, having money to have access like this, to have anything you want, people giving you whatever you want, you just go crazy. Like I said, Kurupt been drinking forever. He's been drinking forever. So this is not nothing this is you dealing with an alcoholic, 20 years plus alcoholic, and you coming in a 3-year relationship thinking you're going to change 20 years of behavior and chemical dependence. That's not going to happen, Toni. You're going to have to understand why this man is an alcoholic. Be his friend. You don't have to be in a relationship. I still believe that, Toni, you should not be in a relationship. But so many men and women believe that they can't care for a person unless they are in direct relation to them, in a direct relationship. You don't give a fuck. That's why I say love is fleeting and conditional. When you done with the person, you don't give a fuck if they die or not. You may. But you don't really want to take care of a person you don't feel like there's a connection to that person. A lot of people feel like that. That's why a lot of people feel like they've been thrown away, and just throw them away, because nobody really cares about you unless they're related to you. It's really, and then even then, that's sketchy. You know what I'm saying? Shonda says she sacrificed her career to be a mother. You sacrifice your career to be a mother and a wife to somebody who's just constantly abusing you. Emotional abuse. Shonda, you have to want better for yourself. Willie, like I said, stop forcing people who are non-monogamous to be in monogamous relationships. And like somebody in the comments said, and it was a great point, a lot of men who are non-monogamous want a woman who is monogamous because that keeps her at home while he does what he does. And when his dick stops working and the money runs out and the hairline starts receding, your stupid ass is sitting right there waiting for him to get his shit together, waiting for him to grow up, waiting for all of that, waiting for him to mature. Waiting for all of that. And he's right there. And keep a monogamous woman with you while you're off practicing non-monogamy. And that's what's happening. And men don't want an idea that there's a woman that they're in a relationship, a non-monogamous relationship with, doing the same thing you're out there doing. No, a lot of men can't handle that. There's a fragility there. Shonda says she's upset with Willie and she can't get past it. And she was like, what could I have done to she's centering herself around his behavior. What did I do to deserve this? What can I do to be different? What can I do to look different? Vivica Fox went and changed her whole face when her young tender went out and decided she wasn't good enough. She went out and changed her whole face. What did I do that wasn't good enough? When you center your existence around approval of a man, you will change your body. You will change your face. You will figure out, what is it that I'm doing wrong? Why isn't he, how do you say it? Attracted to me. Anyways, they beat up the dummy in the back. Phaedra's performance, Phaedra really makes me sick. Toni smiling and made me feel like she was embarrassed to actually express anger, but she got Kurupt together. She was like, who the fuck do you think you talking to? He said something, don't disrespect me, cuz, and she was like, wait, hold up, who the fuck do you think you talking to? I'm not gonna be disrespected. Girl, then she found the number. He's been calling the homeless woman. That's what she said, the homeless bitch. He said while he was drinking, because his mom and dad, she goes through this phone to see that he's called somebody. Willie wants Shonda to be nice to him. You haven't been nice to her. I don't understand why you expect it. That's why I feel like Shonda should be done with the relationship, because you're gonna hold on to that. You're gonna hold on to that, and it's gonna, unless you're gonna let go and allow him to, rebuild the relationship with you, and let go of the past. That's the only way that, to me, Shonda and Willie are gonna get through it. He says Kurupt said the closest piece of happiness was his mother, and she died. And, maybe that contributes to the drinking, why he can't stop. I don't know. It's a lot of things. And to me, I feel like from all of the couples there, I don't know. I don't think anybody should be in a relationship. Hazel and her, she about to have 2 children. That's coming. We got to get married, babe. That's coming. No, it's not. What? Why? What? Why would it? Why? And then why do you feel like you need to be married? You're doing everything else? I don't understand. That shit is stupid as fake. Anyways, let me talk about P-Valley. Y'all take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.